Top of the top. It's your cousin Big Cass, Head Knocker TV. Today's a special day because it's a beautiful, beautiful day in Arizona. I am jumping on my motorcycle and I'm going to take you to one of the most diamond in the rough places of Arizona that always angers me when I come across bikers. I'm like, hey man, you know, have you ever been to Cave Creek? And they look at me like I just spoke German to them. No, I'm like, how are you a biker and you don't go to the #1 recreation of Sturgis that's 95% welcome to nothing but bikers? I lived up there. I've been going there since before I even moved here. But when I moved here in 2017, I got a house up in the hills, and this town is literally structured for bikers. The sheriff's department is not even a rock throw away, and I've never, ever been bothered. So I'm going to take you to the Roadhouse, which is actually twin of the Hideaway, which is one of the oldest bars out in Arizona. Again, 95% strictly formatted for bikers. Cave Creek, the reason why I say it's kind of like a recreation of Sturgis because they have a buffalo chip, they have a Hideaway, they have a Roadhouse, but there's so much more to see there. I'm going to sit down with one of the owners. His name is Taylor. He's probably one of the youngest owners in all of Arizona, of all of Cave Creek. And he was born into it. His dad, Mark, kicked it off however many years ago. But if you were ever in Arizona and you come out for Bike Week or Biketoberfest, or just because it's a day that ends with Y and you don't come to Cave Creek, please put your bike in the garage and go pull your big boy panties up and stop calling yourself a biker, because Cave Creek is the home of all of Arizona, to where bikers go and you are treated like royalty. Looking at me, yeah. Top of the top, it's your cousin Big Cass, Head Knocker TV. I am in the Bat Cave of the beautiful Roadhouse. Do we always say Roadhouse Hideaway?
Hideaway's Roadhouse.
Hideaway's Roadhouse. This is the birth of the Hideaway. And if you have never been to Cave Creek and you ride a motorcycle and you've been to Arizona or you live in Arizona and you have not been, you should sell your bike. This is like a mini Sturgis. And this young man that you're looking at, is Taylor Bradshaw, one of the co-owners of the Hideaway Roadhouse. How good to hear that.
It's beautiful. It's good to be here.
So, obviously, I know you, but the audience doesn't. So we're going to start from the beginning. You were Taylor Bradshaw, the son of
Mr. Mark Bradshaw.
Mr. Mark Bradshaw, who opened up. So we're at the Roadhouse. If you go about 100 yards, at best,
Probably a football field.
yeah, you have the Hideaway, which is the birth of this place. Even though this is bigger, you get more of a crowd down at the Hideaway.
Yeah, that's where it all started, 1998. That's where all the OGs go. That's where, if you're riding a bike through Arizona, you got to stop at the Hideaway.
Yes, and you can't miss it.
No.
Now, just so I'm clear, because I moved here in 2017. I bought the house up in Cave Creek. That's how we met. That was a motorhome or mobile home?
It's one of the oldest houses in Cave Creek. So it was a house. I believe it was also a candy shop or an ice cream store. And then my dad purchased it back in 98, you know.
And what was it in 98?
In 98, I believe it was a candy store or an ice cream parlor. That's what it was. I think the setup was. But originally, it was one of the oldest houses in Cave Creek.
And he converted it to a shop.
To a bar, yeah.
No, not your dad, the other person. He lived there, but he turned it into an ice cream shop or a candy shop or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Now, was the Buffalo Chip or any of that here?
The Buffalo Chip was, I believe, was here. Larry was owning it. And Harold's was, of course, here. Harold's one of the oldest buildings. Yeah. Along with like Wagon Wheel when you pull into town.
Yes.
You know, Big Earl's used to be a gas stop.
Is that what it really was?
That's what it used to be. Big Earl's was a gas station.
Isn't there still a thing in the front? A gas thing in the front?
Oh yeah. If you look at it, it makes sense too.
Yes. Yes. You know, people have such a misinformation about Arizona, because I was talking earlier and I said, you know, when I talk to guys, I said, hey, have you ever been to Cave Creek? And they live 20 minutes away and they go, no. I'm like, no, you really shouldn't have a bike.
Yeah.
Like there's so much more to Arizona than just whatever people think it is. Now, you were born what year?
I was born in 94.
1994. So what is your earliest memory of when your dad got the Hideaway and turned it into a bar?
Oh gosh. I remember when I was a kid, we had a pool table in there. And
Where?
It was in where the retail shop is.
Got it.
So it all used to be enclosed in until we blew it out for that garage door in there. But there was a checkered floor with the pool table on it, and I used to ask my dad if I could take some change, which he would go and open it up and he'd say, you know, grab as much as you could take, and I'd take a handful of quarters, and me and my sisters would go and we'd go to Circle K and then go hide in the office with whatever candy and stuff we got, you know, and just sit there until Dad was done working,
right?
Or we fell asleep and we woke up as he was carrying us inside, because that's how long, you know, we'd be hanging out there.
And you lived how far from
the right off Dynamite and Cave Creek, so not too far.
Minutes. Yeah.
10, 15 minutes, you know.
Now I want to knock this out early, because to me it's always something I've been so proud of knowing. You're mixed. You're interracial.
Yeah, I am indeed.
Your mother is...
She's South African. Yeah.
She's black.
She's black.
And
she
beautiful.
She ain't the white South African.
Yeah. Which is no such thing, by the way.
Yeah.
Those are people from Belgium that ended up in Africa.
Yeah.
And, you know, I kind of knew when I met you because I'm mixed.
Yeah.
But 95% of most people have no idea. And it plays no precedence other than, look, a man who you would look that looks like a biker from hell or a surfer from hell. Your dad's what, 6'3"?
Oh, yeah. He's 6'4",
yeah,
220.
Beast.
Yeah.
And got zero punk in him.
Yeah.
And he fell in love with a beautiful black woman. And hey, it's 3 of you guys or 4?
3 of us. Three of us from my mom, yeah.
Yeah, 2 boys and 1 girl.
Yeah.
And were you aware that you're interracial coming up, or you're mixed coming up?
You know, no, not really. I mean, it was, the area and the neighborhood we grew up, you know, I always just thought I had a better tan than most kids.
Same.
Damn, that kid needs to get the fuck outside.
Right.
You guys, Taylor Bradshaw here at the Roadhouse. Biketober Rally is this weekend, which means we're giving away this motorcycle right here, this FXFB Trass Turboed, Mark Dunn built Harley Davidson, you guys. Make sure you get out here. We're gonna have live music all day, every day till 2 a.m. The parking lot will be lined with all of Arizona's premier builders, you guys. Trass, Lupe, Ramjet, Straight Line, Fast Lane, everybody, Go AZ. Builders, vendors, live music all weekend long, you guys, right here at the Roadhouse. We are giving this bike away this Sunday, so make sure if you guys bought a ticket, you guys are present. We would love to see your smiling face. Take home this bike here this Sunday. Get you a ticket. Biketober Rally is going down this weekend, you guys. We will see you out here in beautiful Cave Creek, Arizona, at the Hideaway Grill and at the Roadhouse.
You don't go in the same sun that I go in.
And, you know, when I played soccer for 16 years, I used to be 3 shades darker too back then.
Right.
I had a little fro and everything, but I never used to think nothing about it.
Now, when you're with your mom and you looked at other kids, white moms, were you like,
oh yeah, a little bit. You know, it's funny you say this though too. You bring this up. My dad used to go to the grocery store with me and my brother, and he tells me this all the time. You guys are kids, man. You look so similar. You look nothing like me, and you were both brown. You know, You were both tan little kids, and people look at me like I just stole you guys.
I went through the
Where
same
the fuck
thing.
did this big Sasquatch get these two little friends?
Right. Those aren't yours.
Yeah.
Right. But when you were with your mom,
Yeah.
did people wonder if you were hers?
Oh no, we look exactly like that.
So yeah.
Spot on.
Now, I just wanted to touch on that, and for anybody that doesn't understand why I touched on it, because Arizona at one time was known as a very racist state. You know, it was a sundown state. It was, and opening up a bar with 3 mixed black kids in an area, I had a buddy come meet me here once, and he was like, "Man, is it safe for me to get out the car?" I said, "These are rich white folks. These aren't the." Until you come up here, you don't realize these aren't your off the back wagon.
It's Cave Creek is the best way to describe it. It's like rich redneck.
Yeah. And I've been here since 2017. I've never, ever experienced any racism.
No, zero.
No, I'm a biker. That's how they accept me.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever cracked a inappropriate,
Racist
wondering what I was, or because again, the club I was in, there's definitely brothers in it. Always treated with respect.
Yeah.
And you run such an establishment that demands that. I've never seen security here. And you will be elbows to assholes on certain days. And I remember I said to KP, I was like, "Who's security?" He goes, "Actually, the customers that don't let anybody play any BS here." At what age did you actually start working here?
So I remember this very, very clearly. I was 12. I was going on 13. 12 going on 13. My dad kicked me, woke me up one morning in the summer. He said, "Hey, come to work. I need help." So I went in. What do? Said you're gonna start in the dish pit. So I washed dishes for probably a year. Worked my way up to cooking, bar backing, bartending, so on and so forth.
And you would come after school, weekends.
Every day after school, I'd come and do the night shift, which was usually in the kitchen, 6 to close.
And go to school the next day.
Wake up, yeah. Oh yeah. Usually what I'd do is I'd make pizza at the end of my shift, and I'd bring that pizza to school. I'd sell it to kids at school. Solid fun. Because pizza at school, you get the little square, little rectangle pieces.
Yeah,
that shit was shit compared to the hideaways.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, so you're 13 at this time?
I was 13.
13. When did you know this is what I want to do?
I'd say probably after college, man. I always liked throwing a good party.
Yeah.
I was always the party type. I always loved, setting the vibe in place.
Yeah.
Whenever I walked into a party, I'd bring something with just the energy I'd bring set apart for motherfuckers to vibe with, right?
Right.
And so when I started inviting all my friends up here and seeing what I could really do, not only throw a party but make money while doing it, I was like, dude, this is the perfect life you need.
Right. And this was what age? So this was college that you were like.
This is about 22, 23 is when I started.
And did you come to your dad and say, "Hey man, I want to work"? You were already working there full time, but you were like, "This is it. I don't want to do nothing else."
Actually, he came to me. He said, "Hey, you ever thought about maybe you know everything about this place? Do you want to know that everything and more?" I said, "Yeah, let's give it a try." And then once I started doing it, seeing and learning, the business aspects, the back end, meeting all the people, building a relationship with people like Nick Trask, John Shope,
right?
Meeting all the builders, the big wigs in the industry. I'm like, yeah, fucking badass.
Yeah, John Shope, Dirty Birds. He was on the show. What was the show he was on?
The Biker Build.
He was in there. And Trask is built for himself.
Uncle Nicky, as I call him.
Yeah. Brothers and sisters, did they work here?
They tried.
Just one their thing.
They just butted heads with my pops, and my dad's a very stern.
Yes, he is.
Yet a generous man, and business is business. And a lot of I have 3 sisters, 3 younger sisters too, and Sydney never wanted anything to do with it.
Okay.
All right, and Chase, my older brother, he kind of just butted heads with my dad.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I met your brother. He is. It's his way or no way.
Oh, yeah, he's a lot like my dad.
Yeah. But he's a brilliant kid.
Oh yeah.
So this is now 22, 23. Taylor Bradshaw is officially a full-time employee, not owner, not partner, not nothing. You're just working here.
Yeah.
And you're how old now?
I'm 31 now.
31.
Mm.
Look at you said that's so proud for the old ass brother. You know, so if I met you in 2017, you would have been what?
2017, let's see. We've been 22. 17. I graduated.
You were just trying to work here, basically. I mean, you were here already, but it became full time.
Yeah.
Now, Arizona is known, not Arizona, Cave Creek is known as like a baby Sturgis, a recreation of Sturgis.
Boy.
Definitely bikers. The Hideaway gets probably 75% more, but you go from restaurant to restaurant. You don't just run here. You got to go down there. Like, for instance, your old man's out of town, right? Or is he back now?
He's back. He just got back there.
But when he's gone, you had to hold it down.
Oh, yeah.
Now, being that this is a biker town, how did you deal with some of the ones that weren't too cooperative bikers?
So, some of the
We don't say any names, but just
some of the folks that come up in here.
Yeah,
You know,
the ones that have patches like me.
Yeah.
With the diamonds and the, you know, because look, you could have a drunk biker, but I'm talking about the ones that feel like I'm killing everything in here. It's not going to go my way.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's great in the sense that from the jump, my dad kind of set the precedence that we don't do that shit up in here.
Right.
And a lot of the people, a lot of the customer base, the patrons, the regulars that are up in here, they all have my back.
Yeah.
And even when I am alone, I'm not.
Yeah.
So it's great that I never at any point, no matter who's up in here, whether it's green, red, yellow, doesn't matter what patch, what color comes in here, I'm never in worry. Worried.
I will say this. I obviously met you and found out about this place just from being a biker and someone telling me. And I was with a different club at the time, still Outlaw Club. Not once did no one, not your dad, will go, you know, this place they'll say no colors, period. Then there's some they'll go, hey man, you know, it's cool, just make sure. Never. No one ever walked up to me or anyone and said, hey, we don't mind you wearing your colors, but just can you make sure? Because I've always said, dude, I have the biggest bullseye on me if I do something stupid. You should worry about the guy that's on drink number 9, you know. But I've never seen a brawl. You know, I've obviously been here where some things have gotten that was handled quickly. Or I've gotten a call like, hey, man, dude just popped one in the air. You remember that incident?
Crosswalk.
Yeah, man. Wait, it was in here first. Didn't he pop it off in here first and then go outside?
He pulled it out in here, the one in the crosswalk, popped it off, and then he took the clip and put it in the bed of, I think it was my truck.
It was your truck. Yeah. Did you give me the piss? No, I think I ended up with something. And I remember, and then the guy apologized, and you know, so what we're talking about is, you know, again, when it's summer, it's pretty desolate here, you know, and I mean, it's 100-some degrees right now, and it's still a good 50 people down there because people are loyal to the soil. I passed a Hideaway that was a good 50, 60 there, but I remember getting the call, and you're like, hey man, somebody just popped. I'm like, I'm on my way. And I get down here, you're outside, and there was a guy you knew.
Yeah.
Right? He was a regular.
Yeah. Won't say his name.
Yeah, no, don't give him the credit.
Yeah. He might have just, you know, the screw went loose.
Well, he went, sat on the stage first, pulled it out, and then went outside and popped one. And didn't he come back in?
He did. He walked back through the bar with the gun, and then walked around the backside of the bar,
and threw the thing.
Threw the clip in the back of my truck or whatever. I don't know if he's trying to send a message to me or why he did that one.
Yeah.
It was just he might have been fucked up, just like, oh, here, I'll just toss the clip in here like it's not loaded or something.
But I remember you being so calm about it, and I'm like, what do you want to do? You're like, I don't even know where he went. I'm ready to smash. You're like, hey man, it comes with territory. But has there ever been any biker brawls or?
You know, we've
because you throw during Bike Week and Biketoberfest, you get how many thousands would you say?
So we just ran the numbers this past Bike Week. We set an average of 17,000 people a day for 10 days.
17,000. And other than some misunderstandings, you've never had an all-out brawl in your places.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will say it's because when you walk in, you got Big Mark, you got Rick, rest in peace, Justin,
Justin Chadwick,
you know, who didn't take no shit either. You had KP, you know, and then you had guys like us that were part of the family. I remember when your dad was like, "Hey, are you the one that made those bracelets?" Remember I made those things, and he was like, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Why?" I said, "I don't know. It just feels like home to me." All right. Then he walked his big ass away from me. He just is a man of very little talk, but if he does choose to talk to you, he's going to talk to you. So at this time, you're now, like you said, 22, 23. When did the offer on the table come to be part owner?
Well, you know, that all didn't really get talked about until I was probably 25 or 26 when the initial, you know, conversation started to arise. And I go, oh, you know, hey, one day this could all be yours.
Right.
Right. And that's when me and my dad kind of sat down and talked and, you know, worked some stuff over, talked, you know,
Right.
Made the moves.
Well, this is where the interview is going to turn a little left. That was offered to you, and you felt you were ready. But you, as a young kid, young man, liked the fundamentals.
Oh, yeah.
And this was only approved by you to talk about because, you know, I didn't go through it with you, but I watched you as you're going through it. Yeah. We don't have to get into so much of it, but you enjoyed, how do you want to word it?
Extracurricular activity.
Yeah. That partake in persuading your mind sometime.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember you would get frustrated, like, yo, he's telling me I'm part of the owners. And you still ran a tight ship.
Oh, yeah.
But what do you feel you weren't doing because you were still partying a little too rough?
Well, I mean,
Tell me how a day would start when you come in.
So
as an owner now.
So for me now?
No.
For me back then.
Yeah.
So back then, this was the routine, right? I'd wake up. We're still rolling. I'd wake up. Usually, depending on where my girl was at the time, whether she's in the kitchen, the bedroom, or walking around, you know, yada yada. I'd go to wherever in the house I had a bottle. It would be a bottle of James, and usually, if she was following me around the house, I had one in my truck, and it was open, fit the JMO. I take a pull, 5-6 seconds, and then immediately pull out my bag of Coke, take a bump, light a cigarette. And I usually always had a cold Coors Light for the drive to work.
Yeah.
I would, you know.
Which is a matter of 1 mile, 2 miles.
About 2, yeah. Yeah. But I would drink it. You know, just I couldn't, there was no way I could get in that truck without having something, a drink, because I couldn't walk barely. Yeah. You know, that's how.
You were addicted.
Crippled I was, yeah, physically addicted to alcohol. Okay. You know, it was terrifying.
And then you would get to work, and what would first thing you'd stop at the bar? Because I'd be here sometime.
Turn on all the lights, make sure every neons, lights, everything was, you know, unlocked, opened. You know, if I needed to clean before I did any cleaning, I would always get here earlier than everyone because I would crack a Twisted Tea or a Coors Light, take another shot. Right? Okay. And then another bump.
You keep it on you.
At all times. 7 days a week.
When I found out, I always called it nose candy. When I found out, it's when you gave me the safe. When you gave me the safe that was here. Oh, yeah. You remember that?
Oh, I don't even remember that, really. Wait, the safe. What do you mean?
The big hideaway safe that you put money in. You don't remember giving me that safe?
Oh,
you and KP and the Spanish kid that used to cook. Came and delivered to my house.
Oh, Arturo. I remember that now. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And I remember he said something. You were like, "Save that till we get back in the truck."
Yeah.
And I remember I looked at you like, "Come on, bro." Like, you know, again, I've never done a drug, but I've ruined a lot of people's lives selling it back in the day. And I remember being so disappointed in you. I addressed you the next day. I don't know if you remember. I was like, "Bro, you're like, yeah, I just do it to us." I know a lot of people just do it to keep the edge off. And I said, "But look at what you have." And you're never going to see Taylor Bradshaw not smiling or trying to put a smile on people's face. And I remember you just smile, was like, put your hand on my shoulder, like, "I got this, bro. I got this."
I always had it, you know.
Yeah.
In my head, I would always tell people, they would go, "You good? You good?" "Yeah, dude. Fucking fine. What do you mean?
Yeah. But you weren't.
Oh,
You still ran a tight ship because you were programmed.
oh yeah.
You know, I knew addicts that were functioning addicts, but they weren't good.
Yeah.
They just were programmed to open that door, go do it, get it done, get back out as soon as they could. You know, I can remember you going, oh man, I didn't get up till about 5 this morning and I had to be at work at 8. You know, you notice I'm always surprised when you respond to text messages so fast now too, because that was the death of you.
Oh yeah. I used to when I went into detox, I think I had about 6,000 new text messages in my phone from this was prior to bike week, you know, 2023 bike week. So, you know, it was accumulated over. I just wouldn't fucking respond to it.
Well, while we've sat here, you looked at your phone 3 times and I've smiled because it doesn't bother me at all. And I hope the viewers understand it's because you're running $1 million business. But in the past, you just were programmed. This. I'll get that phone later because you were just programmed to.
If it was old tea, you know, I've done cocaine off this desk right. There would be a bottle right there, you know, and I probably would have taken 4 or 5 shots by now, you know.
And then you'd go home at what time, probably?
Well, that's if I went home. I used to just sleep here. Like there used to be a couch right there. I used to pass out on the roof, on the floor, you know, because I didn't want to leave.
Yeah.
Or if I did want to leave, I couldn't leave because I was like, I don't want to get a fucking DUI.
Yeah.
You know, which is nuts that in the 10 years of drinking hard here, I never got a DUI.
Yeah.
I don't even have to knock it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
I swung the interview to that because you're proud. I'm proud of you, and you're proud of you. But if people truly understood, again, we're not talking about a mom and pop sports bar. We're talking about a pillar in the community where Arizona literally opens the door, gives you guys the key to run Bike Week. Other places are involved, but it's a hideaway and roadhouse thing.
Yeah.
And you think, how do you run 2 bars that are only 100 yards away from each other? One is one way and one is the other way. Different type of crowd comes. I come here more. I was dating back in the day the girl that was there, so I'd go there, see her for a few ticks, then I leave. Which, by the way, never date a girl and then you are 100 yards away from another bar because my phone would go. I was like, "What bitch are you talking to?" I just saw you. Because bars, girls talk. Now, when did you decide to go sober?
That was so right before the birth of my daughter, beautiful little baby girl, Sailor. You know, she my fiance now, she just watched me just deteriorate and fuck myself up, and just, you know, I never did anything that was terribly wrong. Like, I never fucking hit anyone, or I never fucking crashed a truck. I never fucking did anything, but I never stopped.
Yeah.
It was constant 24/7. No matter what I did, I was drinking. You know?
And it was always just a party to you. As long as business was done,
yes,
it was still a party.
But even if business wasn't done, I was still partying throughout the business. But I never fucked up any business while I was doing it either. You know, I never lost a single dollar. I never misplaced anything. I never miscounted.
Right.
But I was fucked up the whole time. So not everything I did was justified.
Did your dad know everything? Do you think he knew everything?
He you know, I was really good about hiding it. Like I could be 17 shots of Jameson deep and get on the phone or on the microphone and MC to thousands of people.
I've never noticed. I didn't mean same as in me. Same as in I never. It was one time I asked you, and it was probably about 2 years ago, and it was close to closing time, and you were just a little more animated.
Yeah.
And again, me and you always do this gang banging, Crip and Blood thing. It's been like this since 2017. One day he's a Crip, I'm a Blood. One day I'm a Blood, or he's a Blood, I'm a Crip. It's cleared up. We know where I'm from, but it's a joke. But you know, we have literally started conversation in the middle of the floor where people thought we were serious.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, nigga, I want that right now. Nigga, you get the Crip walking on me. It's on sight. And people are like, what's going on? And people I've invited me like, I'm like, hey, by the way, this is Taylor, the owner.
That's kind of people of Cape Creek. Or with the people you bring it up.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on?
But your dad doesn't really know. And does your dad even drink? I don't.
He never was. He back in the day, he used to,
Do his thing.
partake.
Yeah.
But, this was back in the day. This was before, he had 5 kids.
Yeah.
Like he now, if he does, he never had a problem. Let's say that.
Yeah. I've never seen a drink in his hand unless I thought it was soda water. I've just never seen him.
Yeah.
Both you guys are pretty similar. I've never seen you out of character. And that time I did see you, I was just like, yo, you good? And you were like, yeah, I'm good. You just walked away from me, and I just went, that's that nose candy.
Yeah.
So you sobered up in what year?
23. So 12, 23, 23 is my sobriety.
23. Did you pick that day for a reason, or?
No, that was I was having a seizure on the floor of my shower. I was shitting all over myself, man. It was it was bad. I couldn't. My body was shutting down because I tried to detox off alcohol by myself.
Yeah.
And to those who don't know this, if you're physically addicted to alcohol and you try and do it, you will die.
Yes.
You will fucking die.
Yes.
And I hadn't had a drink for 4 hours. By the time I got into detox, it breathalyzed me. I blew a .29.
And you hadn't had a drink in
4 hours. So that
was equivalent of like,
he knows what I was for 4 hours. I was damn near dead. And this too, when I quit drinking, I was 136 pounds. I'm 182 today.
Yeah.
So I was skin and bones.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was fucked.
And did you went and checked yourself in a detox? Did you tell your dad then? Like, well, obviously, hey man, I need to take some time.
Yeah. My fiance brought me in, and I was bawling my eyes out looking at her crying at me, because it was real.
Yeah.
I was in my head. I thought, this is all like my life's over, because that's the alcohol's telling you. You are not going to have a life because alcohol is no longer part of it. It's what my brain's saying.
Yeah. And
I remember I called my dad and he said, I'm so fucking proud of you. So happy you're doing that. Let me know when you get out.
I never really thought you had a problem because you still went jet skiing, you still went snowboarding, you still would go dooning, you got a beautiful Harley, you would partake in everything. But you were burning the candle at both ends. Because if you did take a day, you would normally take a day off. You take, 2 days off a month maybe?
Yeah, 2 days off a month, probably. Yeah. Usually it's Wednesdays, Rick gets Tuesdays, depending on what we got going on.
Right.
It's off season. During season, there's really no days off. No such thing as days off.
Yeah. It's almost like living in Vegas. The show must go on.
Yeah.
And this is a bar that's open 7 days a week, sun up to sundown. But you would take some time off, but you were still partying when you take that time off. So it's not like you went vacation and rested. You went and got even more turned up and came back.
Right.
So you go to detox for how long?
I was in there for 4 days.
And how hard were those 4 days?
It was bad, because it was right at Christmas time,
Had you ever tried detox before?
No,
Never.
I've never been to a facility, a treatment center, or anything.
How many times you try to stop?
Before I tried once before. I think I made it 29 days is what I made.
And you said the speech like everybody else. So I'm a counselor at a rehab.
Yeah.
I'm an addiction counselor, support counselor. And it's those people that go, man, I feel great. I feel like, and then all it takes is the wind blows wrong. And I just feel like, when you did that 29 days, how proud was your speech of, oh man, I feel great. This feels good.
It's nuts. So I was going to an AA center right up here. It's a church, the Good Shepherd of the Hills. And it was, I forgot what they call that, the Tuesday night meeting there. But, I made some friends there, and all the people they recognized me from the bar because some were patrons at the Hideaway, and I would go in there and tell them, hey, my name's Taylor, I'm an alcoholic, and
Right.
I run the Hideaway and Roadhouse, right? And I went in that 29th day, right? And it was the day after I had relapsed, and I told them when I was fucking just in shambles,
Right.
because the addiction, I could not break that mental addiction. Right. To the substance.
So you relapsed. What year was that? Do you remember?
I was 22.
So a year or so before you. What makes this different?
What makes this time different?
Yeah.
Well, I think with addiction and with people like me, specifically, you have to suffer enough. And although I was so great, bubbly, and happy, it didn't seem like ecstatic. Nothing was wrong on the outside, dude. I was praying every night for God to take the addiction away from me. I couldn't, for whatever reason, I could not reach that point of suffering enough. Having seizures, shitting myself, throwing up on the way to work, fucking begging God to take it away from me. And I think reaching that point, I think that suffering point of where I could not take it anymore. And some people say they get sober for their kids. I know some fools in recovery that lost their 3 kids, because of alcohol and because of drugs and because of whatever. I really truly I'd suffered so much just within the 10 years of drinking. I wanted to quit so badly, and I prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed, and finally I hit that breaking point.
What was it though?
I would say shitting myself and not being able to walk
In front of your woman.
in front of my woman. Just
Well, as men, we want to be
yeah.
like, tough. And, something I had shared with you, and when I did that Tales McKing interview here, I, from a person that's never drank before in my life, to when I moved up here, you always see me by myself, very quiet, but I was a little closet drunk. I'd come down here, I'd have my pineapple. What did you turn me on to? Was it Honey Jack or
Is that what it was?
something apple, Crown Apple? So I'd have apple juice and Crown Apple. You turn me on to that. And, it was the end of the night. We'd have a shot, and all of a sudden, then I started an alcohol company, Outlaw Vodka. And you were very supportive of that. But I'd go home. I'd have my 3 or 4 drinks here. And then I'd go home and I'd get shit-faced till I pass out. What people don't realize, that's not sleep when you pass out. That's not sleep. You're literally passing out. That's an endorphin in your brain that just goes, all right, I'm out. So when you wake up, you're waking up all tweakish because you have all that sugar in you from the alcohol and the poison, because it is a poison. We're sitting in a bar where you're sober. It's like the movie the show Cheers. Ted Danson, his character, was sober, but he never tried to talk anybody out of it. What stops you from preaching?
It's funny. I say this at my meetings too. I preach AA here, but if that's what I would say to my guys too. If someone wants to drink, they're going to drink.
Yeah.
But I'm always an outlet for those who are here, happy, sad, glad, mad, depressed. If they want to talk about it, I'm here to talk about it. Now I can actually listen. But I preach AA in my own bar. I fucking, man, if
you initiate it, or just if someone you feel like they're
if people offer me drinks all the time.
Yeah.
People, even my friends still, because they used to drink with all of them.
Yeah.
And whenever they go, oh, you want to take a shot? I go, no, I don't drink. Oh, you're not drinking today? No, I don't drink. Yeah, I'm not good at it.
And they think, oh, maybe just for this week, or maybe just for this. And you ain't known for it. And you were how many packs of cigarettes a day?
I was a pack a day guy.
Pack a day.
Well, depending on if I snorted an 8 ball, it could be a pack a day to 3.
Now, did you kick everything all at once?
Oh yeah,
cigarettes, everything.
Cigarettes, coke, and alcohol. The trifecta, man.
And weed, I don't think I've ever. No, never was your thing. No, you're always more of an upper per se, except for the alcohol.
Yeah, weed was We smoked weed in high school, but everyone does.
Yeah. Well, you moved on to the bigger stuff.
Oh.
Well, I know this is an easy phrase, but I'm proud of you.
Appreciate
There's another elephant in the room, that cat that's on your shirt.
Oh yeah.
Is that cat is it something you designed on the shirt, or?
Shirley was my house pet for a long time. Okay. But actually, to the majority of my years to get fucked up, I adopted her from one of my best buddies. He's gonna be a groomsman at my wedding, and he's like, oh, I got the perfect cat for you. So bring the cat over. It's a $6,000 long-haired Persian. So he brought it over and I said, perfect. Dropped off the litter box, everything. And that cat and me were best friends. We stayed up. We talked to each other. Right. I named her after my grandma. Probably not a smart idea. Named her Shirley, Yeah,
But Shirley was your companion.
she was.
And you were telling me a story where there was a plate of something on the table.
Oh yeah, big old plate of cocaine. We're all sitting around the island in the kitchen and not paying attention, talking. Shirley jumps up, comes over to the plate, takes a big rip off it, snorts probably a half a line of coke, skittles off, jumps off. We're all like, "Oh my god, this cat's gonna fucking die!"
And you're laughing, thinking it's funny,
Yeah.
whatever, and realizing it's actually nothing funny about that.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah, it
but
was-
Shirley, Shirley, right?
sure.
Shirley lived, and she's still living.
She still is.
You had to get rid of her because
Well, she's a very jealous cat.
Yeah.
When my daughter was born, she was peeing on all her stuff and whatnot.
Yeah.
So she now lives at a dispensary,
right,
and she's living her best life.
she probably gets the high off the aftermath or just loving life.
Oh yeah.
What did you say is the best thing about sobriety now?
The best thing about sobriety, man, is I'm not scared. I'm not scared every day. Every day prior to me getting sober, my life was revolved around drinking.
Yeah.
I wouldn't make a decision unless it had alcohol involved with it. And whether it was eating, destination, where I was going,
Had to be alcohol involved.
there had to be some type of, was there a bar there? Is there this? Is that? And I was so scared that someone would find out about my addiction,
Right.
how fucking bad it was, that I was lived every day in fear. And now every day, everything I do is justified.
Yeah.
It's not a decision I make where I go home and I don't sit up thinking, man, I probably shouldn't have fucking said that. I probably shouldn't have did that. Everything I do it's a conscientious decision that I'm making because I know I want to.
Right.
Right. And that's a beautiful thing. I didn't have that for fucking years, man. And it's the freedom. And I'll tell you this, dude. A lot of people think drinking alcohol, it's like, oh, I'm free. I can drink whenever I want. Well, to me, it was, I was a slave because I couldn't do anything without alcohol involved.
Yeah.
So now I'm free from that fucking thought, that addiction.
And that's one of the strongest things because I thought, well, who am I bothering? I would tell you, I'm at home drinking.
Yeah.
Like, who am I bothering? Yeah, but if I needed to go somewhere, which I did one night, and I left here, and I was going to go down to the Burger King, and I realized instead of turning left where the Walmart parking lot is, I turned into oncoming traffic, thinking I'm going into the Burger King drive-thru.
Yeah.
And I remember I woke up at that moment. It didn't sober me up. It just kind of woke me up.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, that could have been it right there.
Yeah.
Either I would have killed someone or killed me, or a cop could have saw me. Yeah. And I remember I pulled in the drive-thru and the guy said, hey, man, I'm going to serve you this food, but I can see. He goes, here's the deal. I'll give you the food for free if you give me your key and go sit over there for at least a couple hours.
Yeah.
He goes, I'll even give you an extra Whopper.
Yeah.
And I just kind of, I take myself as a tough guy, but I'm humble. And I just went, all right, man. And it was kind of the steps. You've been sober how long?
A year and a half now.
So I want to ask you if you remember this, and I want to ask you, were you high? It was over a year and a half ago.
Oh, it's probably out.
And you called me and asked me to be the what you call it at your wedding.
Oh, the minister at your
But
wedding?
you were so animated.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember hanging up because you just called me out of the blue. I was like, Big Cass, are you can you get, what is it called? Can you get registered, licensed or something like that?
Yeah.
And you're like, man, it'll be so dope. You can have a gangster wedding and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like,
I was definitely fucked up.
and I thought, what just made, me, because I'm your big brother, but, and this is the first time I brought it up because I'm like, hey, I haven't got an invite to the wedding now, but I was supposed to be the minister. And I'm like, which I know I'm invited.
Yeah.
But it was more of that, again, you were Happy Taylor. And somehow I popped in your mind. It was like, nigga, what would be more gangster to have my big brother, this big ass Crip come, be the minister.
Big old Crip standing up there.
You do.
Gather here today.
You better do.
Yeah.
Now, again, I'm beyond proud. You are officially, you got it off your back, man. But there's been a question that a lot of people know about this, but no one's ever asked you on camera. The late, great Hells Angel Sonny Barger ran the Cave Creek Charter. And they were welcome in both places. And he wanted to put what in here?
Well, originally it was hot sauce, and it was hot sauce and his beer.
Okay.
Both his hot sauce and his beer. He approached my father back in, I think it was right when he opened, 98. And said, this is what we're gonna do. You're gonna move hot sauce and beer out of here. My dad said, no, fuck I am. He stood his ground.
Right.
And Sonny said, if that's the case, you're not going to be around. You're not going to be in Cave Creek much longer. I think were his exact words. And it's pretty back then.
Yeah.
HA,
Yeah, man.
Cave Creek,
Arizona.
That being said, that's a promise,
Yeah.
And I believe what happened after that was we didn't allow any colors. Dad got a restraining order on Sonny Barger because of the situation.
Yeah.
Just to have, a restraining order on Sonny.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. That's a pretty crazy.
I didn't know that part.
That part.
Because now you guys have a great relationship.
Yeah.
It was a bit, when I first 2017, they were not allowed in colors.
Yeah.
There'd be guys, and it might have been them just wearing a support hat or something like that.
Yeah.
But
as long as they're not making problems, it's we don't,
And now I see them. Now their booth surprisingly used to be across the street. It was right next to you this year.
Yeah.
Not one issue. Not one issue. And it drew a crowd to you guys too. Did it ever give you any issues when you'd see some of the members? Because there was issues with your dad and Sonny.
No, you don't. And a lot of them, I know, like Marcel. Yeah. Marcel's a great guy.
Amazing guy.
Had some fun nights with Marcel back in the party days.
I think everybody thinks that I have some issues with 80. I got to see, there's nothing for me to have an issue about. I got into it with a Sons of Hell that worked for my mom, put hands on him, didn't know I was at an 81 event out in California. Hey, man, I get mad I get down where I'm mad at. That was it. Other than that, man, my dad was, supportive of that family. I grew up in Ventura County after I ended up moving. Yeah. And there's been this, people think, because, when I did the documentary, I would have loved to have had them in there. But I got to see it. To me, them, the Pagans, the Mongols, my club, the Thunder Guards, Chosen Few. I am always a huge fan of the guys that were here when it wasn't PC to be in an outlaw club. Yeah. Now it's just everybody's one now. And you see them all running the mill.
Very, very few and far in between are they some real, Yeah.
And I that's why I say you've seen all of them come and go. Yeah.
Not to say they're not existent, because they are.
Oh yeah, we're still
a few.
Yeah, there's some of us.
But if you go around Cave Creek, everyone's support 81.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks that HA's got their back and this and
that you're in the fight by yourself, buddy.
Yeah.
You'll get a thank you for buying that hat and that shirt, but you're in the fight by yourself.
Yeah.
And I will say, I just did a video on them about traditions when they used to kiss each other. I'm like, I don't see nothing wrong with that. They go a little far with the tongue. I was like, I saw you play. I'd hit you on the cheek. But
today's National Kiss a Homie Day.
Hey, man, I'll kiss you on the cheek. But I have I don't get caught in these fake ass wars. There's no war. If I don't like you, I just don't like you.
Yeah.
But I owned a business where I'd have to come in contact with everybody. You own a business where you definitely have to come in, especially let alone a biker bar, 2 of them. And if people don't give the respect to 81 that they deserve, to the Pagans that they deserve, the Thunder Guards what they deserve, the Vagos what they deserve, the Mongols, Banditos, that's the origin of that. Clubs that started in 50, 65, and you had been the pillar of saying, hey, man, you guys got a home here with the sheriff's station is what? 500 yards away, maybe a mile down the street.
Yeah, about a half.
I've never been pulled over up here.
Yeah.
There's an overstanding. As long as you're not doing something stupid, we're not even profiling you, which they'll say they don't. But, it's been an amazing thing to watch you grow you know, to
Appreciate
watch you. Nah, bro. I've been wanting to interview you for a minute, but I wanted to wait till you had some time under your sleeve. Because remember, I just found out a few months ago you were sober. And it was like, and I wasn't back doing YouTube full time then. And my channel is directed at motorcycles, but it's the lifestyle of motorcycles. And you are a biker. You know, what kind of bike you got?
1976 Chevrolet Harley Davidson.
That's the year of that bike, that black one?
Yeah, 76.
Bro, I thought it was newer.
Benny. Yeah, no, 76, man.
And you start riding it what year?
Well, I've been riding dirt bikes and bikes my whole life, but that bike that was a bike week bonus when I was like, I think I was 23.
Yeah, I remember when you got it.
24, yeah.
You had another bike before that, though. No, you're riding your dad's bike sometimes.
I was riding Pops.
Yeah.
Always been a shovelhead guy.
Yeah. Now, I always end it with this for the guys that aren't in clubs. What stops you from ever joining a club?
What stopped me?
Yeah.
Fuck, dude, I didn't have enough time. You know?
Were you ever interested?
Yeah. You know, I've had a lot of friends that were in clubs. It's kind of like, you know, fraternities, man.
Yeah.
Like, I had a lot of friends that were in frats. I went to frat parties. You know, I've been to a lot of MC parties. Never joined an MC.
And they come here. So it ain't like you got to go far.
Yeah. I've always been like Sweden in that aspect. You know,
Yeah.
You know, I'd rather be the spot where everyone can come hang out.
Yeah.
Not just one group, right?
Well, brother, I am beyond humbled that you chose to do this. You know, I didn't know if you'd be ready to open up yet. You know what I mean? And seeing you, I always get more and more happier. Now I move closer. I'm not, you know where I live, but I'm not telling people, you know, not online anymore. But I'm glad that I'm back only 15, 20 minutes away from you.
Yeah.
And, you know, I sit there and I come have my soda water and I love seeing you here. And the smile is so much different.
Oh, yeah.
So, Taylor Bradshaw, I appreciate you, brother. Where can folks find you at?
Well,
Your Instagram?
Instagram, T Bradshaw Hideaway.
Okay.
Or I run the Hideaway's Instagram and the Roadhouse's Instagram.
Okay.
As well as Cape Creek Bike Week as well. So.
And you guys have, what people don't realize, you guys have 2 stores here too.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to get footage of everything.
Oh, yeah. But full retail shop. You know, we have our own presses too. Or if you bring a shirt here, we'll put a logo on it, man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And then what are certain nights that you have? I know you have Taco Friday instead of Taco Tuesday.
Yeah. So Hideaway, we got a Taco Tuesday down there.
Oh, so it is Taco Tuesday. I thought it switched.
Regular, you know, white people tacos, white people taco night. Tenderloin Tuesday at the Roadhouse. We got a $10 big ass tenderloin sandwich.
Okay.
Wednesdays, what do we have Wednesdays? Half off appetizers. Thursdays is $5 burger night. Fish fry Fridays.
Yes,
all you could eat fish fries, $10.
Yeah, it's no joke.
Yeah, and all the shit's on our pages too. We always post, keep everyone updated. Make sure you guys follow us.
We're gonna knock this out. It's your brother Big Cass, Head Knocker TV, at the beautiful Hideaways Roadhouse.
Yeah.
I think that's the first time I've said that in almost 8 years, or every 8 years. And brother, let's just keep riding and living. My man.